It seems like more and more of a trend to hate on the new and worship the old. I know Nickelodeon isn't really impressing me with its new animated show, so instead, let's take a look at the shorts that they could possibly greenlight or possibly trash. Ayo, what is up everyone? It is the ALPHAJAY of the ALPHAJAY Show, and today we have the other new series that I wanted to test out since I generally release things in pairs. So here's how this will go. I will cover 3 Nickelodeon animated shorts and I will give it a green light. That means I think in its current state it can work well. However, if I give it a garbage, that means I think it needs to go back to the drawing board and change up some aspects to make it better. So let's get started. I want to shout out this piece of fan art here. It was sent to me over Twitter and I really enjoy it. I really do like how it turned out. And if you have any, please don't hesitate to send me it on Twitter, DeviantArt, Tumblr, or any of the other social media sites I have listed in the description below. This first short will be this one here called Cupcakery of Doom. According to the description of the video, it goes as so. Patches and Cheesebert have big plans to take over the world with cupcakes. Cupcakery of Doom was created by Trevor Reese. The short starts off in this world where we see tons of humans, and all of the beginning shots look so great. I definitely enjoy these transition shots because they serve as the initial swerve that you would think that the short is going to be happy and cheerful for, when that isn't necessarily accurate. You can tell some of the time saved, with the fountain or the girl walking over the hill, and for a short that's a great idea because it gets across the idea, and most if not all pilots generally move towards a more complete idea when they have a bigger team and thus a bigger budget. We then get to see Diabolical Desserts, a primarily cupcake bakery, or cupcakery as the show calls it, where we have Patches and Cheeseberts, 2 bunnies, that essentially run this store in their efforts to take over the world.
And don't forget your frequently earning awards/rewards card.
Hey, look at that, it spells fear.
Be sure to attend the parade in our honor later tonight.
Yes, that is Grizz from We Bare Bears, or Chad from Clarence. Eric Edelstein. His voice is extremely recognizable in my opinion, or maybe that's just from the hours I've lost to binge watching those underrated shows. In this short, I think he plays a really good job at pulling off the evil but not noticeable sort of tone that his character implies. In fact, in this next scene here, he's shown building up that this girl is going to leave without something. And this entire scene is so great. I mean, they have a robot in the shop as well as your stock villain lock the wrist seats. However, it isn't for a malicious reason, as the person in interrogation was leaving without a birthday cupcake. It's so innocent, and I think that tone works well with the softer and lighter color scheme. It has the potential to create this sort of void that Invader Zim or Pinky and the Brain filled when it comes to cartoonish world domination, but have that sort of subverted feel that shows like Unikitty often thrive on when it comes to soft colors and sweetness. It appears that they have won over the town as they're throwing a parade in Diabolical Desserts' honor.
We could try to resist, but I think I speak for everybody when I say we surrender.
If they ever make this into a show, they need to keep that mayor's voice actor because again, it really does fit the vision of how the show wants to go in my opinion. I do have a small pick. I'm not too crazy about the background character designs in this short. They feel too vanilla and they don't really feel like they belong to this show, but just any show, and probably need a few drafts before it captures this sort of togetherness within the stylistic consistency of the show. I think a great example of that is Total Drama. Even if they design a character that isn't for the show, you know it belonged to Total Drama because the characterization is on point. Also, I'm not sure what role Patches would serve to be what seems to be the main character, Cheesebert. He could be the bumbling sidekick, which is most likely since he doesn't do much, or he could be the voice of reason that is pretty reserved with his words, which is another route to take. But it does pique my curiosity. The mayor gives him a key to the city and they take advantage of this newly found reputation by destroying a giant cupcake. And you can see where majority of the work in this short went to. Jinkies, I wonder how you got there. But seriously, wow, this short looks amazing and that explosion was incredible. I enjoy the effort they went into making this cupcake paradise. In fact, I'm even excited to hear about Patches' plans to expand this into a franchise, thus taking over the world faster. Overall, I would greenlight this. It seems like it could be a really good season based off of this short, but more realistically, in its condition, it appears to be more served as a mini-series, as I feel like the topic of taking over the world world generally works under a few concepts before getting old, such as failing every time at the end of the day, similar to the way that the Eds and Ed, and Eddie would fail in their attempts to get money or jawbreakers. This next short would be one called Zombie Brothers. According to the description of the video, it goes as so. Two zombie brothers tried to get some brains to eat in school. Created by Eric Robles. Now, this one seems to be stop motion, a style that you don't really see in animation when it comes to big network TV shows. Heck, even though Gumball uses it, it's only for really certain characters. And this is a much more shorter short, and even the things that happen within it aren't the most descriptive, so pardon the brevity. The short centers around these two zombies named Robbie and Jake, who go to school. This show is going for a very gross and societally boyish sort of aesthetic, which has been very polarizing when it comes to Nickelodeon shows. There's so many to list, whether it's Sanjay and Craig, Fanboy and Chum Chum, Breadwinners, Rabbids Invasion, Pig Goat Banana Cricket, Rocket Monkeys, you get it. It fits that sort of market that Nickelodeon was going for in its early 2010s. It also centers around metal music, which, if you want me to be honest, is a breath of fresh air. Not counting Mr. Pickles, Metapocalypse, heck, many of the Adult Swim shows. I would love to see other genres take the lead in animation music composition. I said this before in my Danny Phantom review, that electronic music, as much as I enjoy it, it has taken storm in a lot of shows that I like. So with this neat intro, which sends you into what the show is going to be like, it hypes up these two, well, zombie brothers. But in reality, it is implied by the way that no one really seems to care about them in school, that they are really outcasts. There is also this neat transition that if you were to look past the slime, I think it's slime, it has this morphing transition that I haven't been able to accurately describe or pinpoint. It is almost as if the scene sort of morphs into the exposition shot of the school. Most of the short is just the two screaming at other people for their brains. I think the idea has some merit and probably would have worked in another time period, but it is far too simple for something now. I would even imagine showing something like this to send red flags to those who left Nick in the wake of their more grosser period. The like to dislike ratio also seems to be sending me messages that people don't really want this style of cartoons anymore. However, I would be willing to give it a chance personally. They also climb up your typical generic jock who, surprise surprise, has a pea brain, and then this short kind of ends here. Although I see what it's going for, I feel like it'll fall flat without some sort of hook. Although it's Zombie Brothers, so what? Like, let's take the last short for example. The reason why I'm excited there is because it appears to be more of a complete idea. It's about these two shop owners who are bunnies that want to take over the world with cupcakes in a city that doesn't think of them any more than the best. And while their actions are very friendly, they appear to be malicious to us when they really aren't. There's a complete idea there. Here it's just two zombies that want brains because zombie and school because, and gross and metal vibe, and I don't know. It doesn't really help aid against the cliche that it evokes. However, I do appreciate the animation style, and I would definitely get behind supporting a fully stop motion animated cartoon on a big network, even if it isn't Nickelodeon. Overall, I would give it a garbage. I love the design, I love the aesthetic, I don't mind the gross early 2010s Nick sort of vibe that it has, but it doesn't feel like a complete idea, and most likely would just be another distant why Nick, why sort of deal. The last short of this video will be this one called Harpy Gee. Based off of a webcomic, according to the description of the video, it goes as so. Harpy and her pet goblin cat Pumpkin are enjoying a peaceful day in the forest until a couple of baby monsters have a spat. Created by Brian Johard. Really do apologize if I messed up any of these creators' names. This short starts off with this music here.
Pumpkin! You found it! The golden mushroom!
Which to any Sims player sounds really similar because it appears to be the same, if not similar to some songs on Sims as a franchise. Yes, I am a big fan, and before you ask, 3, 1, 2, and then 4. When it comes to my favorites on PC, unless you count 2 for PS2, which was multiplayer, then I would put that before 1. So Harpy and her cat Pumpkin are relaxing in the forest, as Pumpkin found a golden mushroom for a spaghetti picnic that's going to happen later. Before Harpy can truly relax and take a nap, before the picnic happens, it appears that this baby dragon and snail are fighting, and this would escalate when the baby dragon gets its parent to step in and fix the situation, a la not crushing it, but kicking away the baby snail, which leads Mama Snail to step in. Side note, I'm not actually sure if that's a Mama Snail, or if Mama Snail is a thing, but I do know that Harpy gets involved, and with Pumpkin's help, we actually get quite a bit of action. At first, Harpy tries to settle things with words, but it doesn't appear that the two seem to be listening to her. I also want to point out the way the animation has this bit of a blur, it really pulls off the design well. Also, the way the fighting seems to sway between, oh, this can actually do some harm, and just flailing one's arm in a comedic motion, it really puts into place this sort of youthful but kind of full feel that could be in the same vein as a Star Vs. Or a Steven Universe, where although it's geared towards a younger audience, all ages could enjoy it, and for different reasons. Pumpkin also seems to keep a lot of things inside their body, as well as not speak a lick of English. The way the character seems so loyal, but also incredibly curious, comes across very well. I do plan to look deeper into the webcomic and get a better feel, but as an adaptation, it should stand on its own and explain the gist to those who may not even know there is more attached to the concept. In fact, the concept of Pumpkin is so great as a sidekick that it does it better than Cheesebird from Cupcakery of Doom. However, this is a personal thing. With shows like Infinity Train, Star vs. OKKO, Craig of the Creek, and a lot, it has this sort of fantasy with a twist of being super cute and having a deeper story, and seem to be really popular, and I understand why. It leaves room for a lot of lore and a deep story and the ability to create meaningful commentary and to be able to do more than make children laugh. Trust me, I get that. But you have to admit that the market for that type of cartoon is getting pretty full, and say what you want about the previous two, those markets aren't really as prominent or that well received in our community, at least. After the second time of not listening to Harpy, she confronts a dragon named Goldie, who doesn't listen to her again, as she is pushed back into the throat of this giant snail, or body. I don't really know the anatomy that well. But fun fact, this also happens in the first episode edition of the comic. However, the way she gets out isn't as brutal as the webcomic, as one slice of the sword given to her by Pumpkin is all she needs to escape, as well as giving the golden mushroom to the young one, which means that she won't really have one to enjoy at the spaghetti picnic, which also means I'm going to assume that these things are rare. Now, as the big babies go to clean up the forest and the young babies are happy, Harpy makes it to the picnic with her friends, who give her very specific types of reactions.
I would have been here sooner, but there was a fight over a mushroom.
I would never eat that trash. I'll eat it. Hey, give that back.
Yeah, I can sense a lot of theories, discussions, and shipping going on. The show has that sort of built-in expectation when it comes to that. Overall, I would greenlight it, and I honestly think that this show has the greatest potential to move forward into an actual series. I could see it being the story-based lore sort of cartoon that can really turn Nickelodeon over into an animation network that can take back a certain crowd after, well, the core Avatar crowd sort of moved over. And, well, we don't talk about what happened to Harpy Beaks in these parts. Anyways, this is just what I feel. I liked all of the shorts personally, but they all can't be winners. My personal favorite was the first one, Cupcakery of Doom, but I do want to know what you think. My question to you, what is your favorite short out of all of the ones I mentioned here? And also make sure to check them out. I'll have the links in the description, card, and pinned comments, so you'll be able to see it in any way you choose. I heard so much positive reception out of my bracket series, so please feel free to let me know what you think of Greenlight or Garbage, a title voted on by the people of Twitter, my followers. Anyway, special thanks to the patrons that support me and what I do. Follow me at The Alpha J Show on Twitter. Go into my request video for any other topic you think I should cover. And if you really like this video, you should check out my Infinity Train video for more on popular shorts, or my Snot Rocket review, which was also on a short. Anyways, make sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time. I hope your time is well spent, and Alpha out.